Hello everyone, welcome to another episode. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode. Sorry about that. I thought that it didn't go live for a second. Sorry. So, welcome to another episode of the Brand Martinez podcast. As you know from the title, I hurt my back in jiu-jitsu on Sunday. I was practicing takedowns, and so I got okay at takedowns. It was my first time practicing just on takedowns, and what I tried to do was jump up, wrap my legs around the person, and then take them down. First time I did it pretty good actually, but the second time I completely missed, and I was like this high in the air, like I don't know, 4 or 5 feet, and then it just fell right on my lower back because I completely missed them. And it sucks because I was supposed to go to jiu-jitsu today, but my back was hurting just way too much, and I was gonna go to jiu-jitsu tomorrow as well, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to. I mean, I might be able to go, but I'm not gonna really be able to do anything besides watch and maybe practice on a grappling dummy. And it sucks because the IBJJF is only 4 weeks away now, and I might have to take this whole week off because, like right now, if I'm sitting like this, it's just like a little muscle pain in my mid back. But if I start trying to like stretch or do a squat or something, or basically anything that uses the back muscles, it starts to hurt like almost like nerve pain or almost like in my bones. And I really, really don't want to fracture my back permanently or something like that because I'm definitely going to regret that like the rest of my life. So what I've been doing to prepare is just eating clean diet, obviously. And on Saturday, I met with one of my teachers, and he showed me a few different things to do in the gym in terms of lifting weights and also cardio as well. I actually have the list right here that I'm going to be doing. So it's basically just going to be, like for warming up, I would just do stretches, push-ups, squats, jumping jacks. Then I would do 3 sets of pull-ups. I can't do a pull-up now, so he said try as hard as you can for the first 2 sets, rest 30 seconds in between. Then last one, just hold for 30 seconds. Then after that, I'm going to be doing bent over rows, 3 sets of 8. Then I'm going to be doing weighted squats, 3 sets of 3 to 5. And then I'm going to be doing bench press or incline press, and just like switching off every other week. And 3 sets of 3 to 5 as well. Well, 3 sets of 5 actually, and the rest 30 seconds as well. And then, oh yeah, for the squats, I'm also going to be switching like deadlifting and leg press out every other week or so. And then after that, I would go for, I don't know, maybe run for about a mile. And cardio is probably not there yet, so probably 3/4 of a mile, and then try and work my way up to a mile. And then go on the bike machine and then a rowing machine. And then on Saturday, I'm gonna be doing this Tuesday and Saturday because since I'm just starting out, I'm trying to get back into it because the last time I lifted weights in the gym was probably 3 years ago. So I definitely lost a lot of muscle. The most I've been doing is lifting bust ups, and that's not exactly. I mean, I guess it's hard, but builds more of stamina than it would muscle. And same for food running. I'm gonna be doing a Tuesday and Saturday. Almost certainly, I'm not gonna go tomorrow though. So this is probably gonna be. I'm probably gonna start all this next week. Because not only do I have the jiu-jitsu and weightlifting tomorrow, at least that's what I want to do. On Wednesday, I have my competition class, and I need to be like 100% to even try going there. And right now, I'm like nowhere. I'm like at maybe 50% because of my back. And so I'm probably gonna take this whole week off in terms of jiu-jitsu, or at least take it easy. Like if I go, I'm just gonna go and watch practice on a dummy, and that's it. Because I need to at least have it in my head and try and get takedowns in, well, not takedowns, but try and get some submissions and escapes like in muscle memory. And I really just don't want to like permanently injure myself, or at least make it any worse to where I'm not going to be able to compete in the IBJJF. Because next time to come into Colorado is, I don't know how long, could be a whole year, and I really don't want to wait that long. But I think there's a local Colorado tournament in May that I might want to do. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if it is in May or not actually. All right, but besides that, in terms of diet, for the IBJJF, I made a list of foods to eat every day. I'm not gonna be able to eat all of this every day because I can't. Like, fish and some vegetables. It's kind of expensive, but as long as I get like most of this, I want to try and eat all this every day before I like snack on something else. And if I do snack on something else, I'm gonna try and do something like organic peanut butter or just so that even if I do snack, it's at least something healthy and filling, so I don't eat a lot of it. And it's going to be 4 eggs with coconut oil and green onions or spinach, 1 chicken breast or a piece of tuna or cod, or probably just a canned tuna actually, then half a cucumber, 2 celery stalks or more, 1 to 2 of the little small cutie oranges, half a tree of broccoli, quarter of an avocado, 12 prunes, a glass of almond milk, 1 carrot, 1 kale leaf, and then 2 cups of oolong tea unsweetened, just by itself. And I also changed I didn't change the restaurants I want to celebrate at, but I changed the requirements if I want to do the, like, number one restaurant. Well, actually, instead of just like requirements for number one, I also added the like, or for full indulgence. Like, if I want to get like whatever I want, then I have to do all of this, or else I can only get like one thing. And right now it's going to be take cold showers every day, do the Wim Hof method every day, meditate every day, do back exercise every day. And the back exercises I'm going to be doing in particular, since I already have a fracture in my lower back, it's going to be sitting on a physio ball rather than sitting on a couch or a chair. Then I also need to get a shoe, put some cloth in it or like a towel, put one at my lumbar spine facing downward at a downward 45-degree angle, then the other one right under my butt at an upward 45-degree angle, and that's supposed to help fix my rotated pelvis. And then also stretching every day, I guess, helps. And then I also need to eat 100% clean every day, no exceptions at all. I want to try and do ab exercises every day. Well, I have to if I want to do full indulgence or go to the number one restaurant that I want to go to. Then lift weights and do cardio twice a week. Do yoga or X stretch, which is a P90X stretching program, once a week. Be up to date in my journal because I used to journal a lot. I haven't done it in a while. I want to try and get back into it. Be enrolled in college. Finish part 1 of it and win at IBJJF. And I know the chances of me winning at IBJJF are extremely slim. I don't really expect to win, but I'm going to aim to win because, so I obviously want to do my best, and while I really do want to win, I want to be clear on how I'm going to do everything I can to win, even though I know that I could be going up against someone who's been doing jiu-jitsu every day for, not every, but for 2 years constantly and competing versus me who has only been doing it for about 2 months and only been doing special training for 3 weeks. Well, it would be 4 weeks if I started today, but with my back, I'm probably not going to be able to start until April 2nd. So all this, I'm going to try and do all of these this week. I obviously can't do the weightlifting because I don't want to hurt my back anymore. I might, depending on how I feel tomorrow. If I feel 100% tomorrow, then I definitely will, but I'm probably going to leave the weightlifting and jiu-jitsu 5 times a week out of it. Oh yeah, so not just jiu-jitsu 5 times a week, but 1 competition class a week. So those 2, and then the weights and cardio twice a week are probably not going to start until next week. So in terms of preparing for the IBJJF, that's about it. I'm trying to make sure I get enough sleep, so just getting more sleep in general. I'm going to turn the notebook away, turn the page, because I was watching a little bit of my first podcast to make sure the audio is fine, and I noticed when I was turning the page, it sounded really, really loud and annoying, so I'm going to try and avoid that. Alrighty, so a couple things. Actually, first thing, I set some, I guess, long-term goals because I've always been one to plan and want to like know what I want to do. I used to want to be a nurse, but or a surgeon, but it just was too much school. I didn't want to be paying off. Not necessarily just too much school, but I don't think I would have actually enjoyed it. Once I started like taking special classes for it in high school, I was like, I'm probably not going to enjoy doing this for the rest of my life or as a career. So I dropped that. And then I picked up being a video game designer, but I really doubt that I can sit for 10 hours a day just staring at screen or even more. And there's not really a whole lot of options in terms of video game design, programming, and whatnot in Colorado. It's mainly just like mobile developers. There's nothing wrong with being a mobile developer, but it's just what I wouldn't want to do. What would be the most ideal is working at Naughty Dog, but I really don't want to move. If I had never done jujitsu, I probably would have been more willing to do that. But I really like the school that I'm going to now, so I really don't want to like stop. I think the sound's not very good. Is that better? I think so. Alrighty. So my long-term goals now are to have a job that I enjoy and have a job that gives me enough time and money to do what I want when I want. And to be a little more specific, I want a job that I enjoy to where I get earn enough money and enough to where I work less enough, I should say, actually, to where I can compete in grappling tournaments around the world whenever I want, really. And that's a pretty, I guess, not necessarily vague goal, but there's not a whole lot of things that I could do as a career that would like give me that opportunity. So, I've always wanted to try my hand as a stand-up comedian, but I guess stage fright, so it would be another 10, 15 years down the line, which, is to be expected. If I do ever try stand-up comedy, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to get my first special in a year or something. But I know that you have to like go like all in. You can't just be a stand-up comedian like part-time or anything, or else you're never gonna be able to like make a decent living. Like if I were to become a stand-up comedian, my goal isn't to be like super rich or anything. It'll just to be where if I enjoy it, I can make enough money to support myself and in the future my family. All right, so let's get to the 60 things that I wanted this year. Well, 60 things that I want to do or have this year. So a little backstory for this list. I made this on New Year's Day, I think, or maybe the day after. And I never really been a fan of New Year's resolutions because, like, barely anybody, if anybody, actually does them anymore. And even if they do them, they don't usually actually complete them. So instead, I just wrote a list of things that I want this year or want to do. And then I refined it about a week ago or so. I added some things and I took some things off actually. So the first one is have good friends. And while I do have one very good friend right now, I guess he'd be my best friend. And then I have a bunch of people I'm well acquainted with, but I'm not really friends with. So I'm just looking to, it's kind of self-explanatory, have good friends instead of just one good friend. Then two, not really 100% necessary, but I would like to have a girlfriend. I kind of had a girlfriend in the past before, but nothing really like serious or anything. I'm not necessarily looking for anything serious now, but just to, I guess, try and be more social, like put myself out there since I've struggled with social anxiety in the past and such. And then to be enrolled at ACC, and at first I wanted to go for a general arts degree, but I'm thinking maybe more because I was going to choose general arts degree because it's good to transfer to 4-year schools for video game design, but I don't really want to do that anymore. So I'm thinking of maybe going for a business degree instead. And 4, I mean, I kind of done it already, is to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I don't necessarily want to cross it off yet because I want to at least feel like I'm okay at Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, in terms of being okay, I mean, I definitely suck now. I'm probably gonna suck in 4 months still, but I probably won't cross this off until I don't know, maybe near the end of the year when I've had 10 months training to where I could until I can like teach someone else something, like another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner or something. Then until then, I'm probably gonna stay on the list and not be crossed off. And then for 5, I have to learn Muay Thai. And this is definitely not a priority because I might not even get to it this year because I want to really focus on Brazilian Jiu Jitsu first. And then I might wait until I'm a blue belt before starting Muay Thai, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to start earlier because, I might not be a blue belt for another 2 years or even more, depending on how hard I work at it. I mean, right now, blue belt seems to be like a lifetime away, to say the least. But I'd like to learn them because I think it's best to diversify yourself. But right now, for at least the next few months, I want to focus just on Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And then 6, I want to like being in social situations. Not necessarily like prefer being in social situations rather than, being at home just playing video games or something. It's just to where instead of feeling awkward when there's a big group of people, for me to at least enjoy a little bit of being involved in the conversation. Then 7, to be a better reader, just want to be able to get through a book faster, be able to retain more information like the first time I read it. Then 8, I have to be a better writer. I actually kind of want to write a book, but that takes years unless write like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, then you can do it in a few months probably. No offense to Jeff Kinney or anything. Might probably takes longer than that, but you know what I mean. And 9, to be closer with my family. I'm already pretty close with my family. But I guess since I've started my job, I guess I've kind of become a little not distant, but it's prevented me from becoming closer to them. So I'm not like estranged from any of my family members or anything, but just to spend more time with them rather than, doing something with my friends, or a friend, I should say. But then 10, I have to do the self-authoring program. And if anybody doesn't know, it's something Jordan Peterson has. I'm not 100% sure exactly what it is, but basically the person who uses it writes an autobiography of themselves, and it's supposed to help them like be a better worker, organizer, be more comfortable with themselves and stuff like that. So I'd like to give it a try sometime. It's not too expensive, I don't think either. It's like less than $100. Then 11 is to finish all the books that are in my room. I have probably 20 or 30. I could definitely do that if I started reading like an hour a day every day starting tomorrow. The only problem is even though I'm a lot more disciplined now since starting jujitsu, in terms of like everything really, but especially in terms of diet and exercise, I still struggle in terms of like trying to push myself to like do something as simple as just read or enroll in college. Stuff that takes, isn't really hard, but my mind's always almost like elsewhere. And then I have for 12 not to finish, but to do the Wim Hof method. And Wim Hof method is basically like meditation, yoga, and deep breathing exercises. It's supposed to like let you have more oxygen in your body, which would be really important in jujitsu because something I've noticed is, and I think something like everybody in jujitsu does, or almost everybody, is that or at least when they start, they do this, is that they hold their breath when they're rolling for whatever reason. They usually don't notice it. And I've never noticed it, but One of the instructors pointed it out to me one time, and he says he even still does it sometimes. So I'm hoping that doing the breathing exercises will give me more control over like my breath and being more comfortable rolling. And then for 13, I have to be off my epilepsy meds. I've had epilepsy for 6 years now, almost 7, I think. I'm not sure 100%. I think a little over 6. And I thought about taking cannabis oil or cannabis. I forgot how to pronounce it. I think it's just cannabis oil, but it's kind of expensive. And even though I'm at a really low dose now, I used to be like over like 3 different medications, like 1,500 milligrams a day, every day. And now I'm all the way down to just 1 and 200 milligrams. So while it's a lot less than it is, it still affects me. Then 14, I have to be able to do pull-ups, and pull-ups have always been something I've just never been able to do. And I mean, it's not like the biggest thing in the world, but for me, I guess it would mean a lot to me so that's something that I've been struggling with for so many years, for I guess like a decade, that I can finally do it. Like it's not a big obstacle anymore. And, it shouldn't really be a big obstacle. It's just an exercise. And then for 15, I have to have an out of body experience, and by that I mean I'm going to I'm going to go to an ayahuasca retreat in April, and I mean I think that's what's called an out of body experience. I'm not 100% sure if that would be the definition of it, but I've never really heard anything bad about a someone taking psychedelics, in to be more specific, ayahuasca. So I mean, they're probably not gonna come to Colorado again for a long time, so I figured, might as well. It wasn't too expensive either, so, I figure why not? Then for 16, I have to visit my old teachers. I was gonna go back to my high school and my middle school and visit them. I kinda wanna visit my old elementary school teachers, but I think most of them are retired now, so probably wouldn't be worth it. Well, not necessarily wouldn't be worth it, but I've never revisited them in the past where I have revisited my high school and middle school teachers before, so I don't think that they would even remember me. Well, I'm sure they would appreciate the gesture. I don't think that they would remember me. And then for 17, I have get a schedule and stick to it. And it's something that Jordan Peterson that everybody should have a schedule because we waste so much time. And while I don't think it's necessarily 100% necessary. Something that I've started to do to try and get into to try and get, I guess, prepare me for that because I've tried to get a schedule and do it hour by hour, so I was always doing something and leaving like 1 or 2 hour windows to where it's like if I don't feel like doing this, I can just like relax or something. So I had things that weren't like 100% necessary to do. So in case I couldn't do them or didn't want to do them, it was okay because I didn't have to do them. What I've been doing now to prepare for that is I've been writing a list of things to basically like just to get done that day. And if I didn't finish any of them, I'd feel bad, I guess. I mean, I haven't really stuck with it. I started another one today actually, but it's for the next 3 weeks. So I don't have to write another one every single day. I'm obviously not going to be doing all those things every day, but on the days I'm supposed to do them, I'm either going to write like a check to it or an X to it, signifying if I did it or did not do it. All right, and then 18, I have to participate in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition, and I'm already registered for the IBJJF. That's going to come to Denver, Colorado, April 21st to the 22nd. Oh, and something I forgot to say. I'm going to be not competing as a featherweight. I'm going to be competing as a lightweight. I wanted to go down to featherweight because I would have been heavy featherweight, but it would have been too much stress. I would have had to lose 16 pounds or like something crazy like that in a month. And I already lost more than 50 pounds now. I think I'm at 57 pounds because at my heaviest I was 215 back in June, and now I'm 158. And then 19, I have to have no problems with my back. And that's just like basically having no back pain. I mean, I can't fix my fracture. I'm actually kind of hurting my back bending over, looking at my journal. But I mean, it's possible. Basically, I just have to do my back exercise every day, like sitting on a physio ball, and then doing the thing where I get my shoes and put them at angles to fix my rotated pelvis. I guess this should be to have no problems with my back or pelvis, because my rotated pelvis is causing my right leg to be longer than my left leg, so I get pains in my uh, right knee a lot, and sometimes even my ankle as well. Oh, and this is another thing from Jordan Peterson, but I have to be able to stop saying things that make me seem weak. An example of this would be like if I'm working a long shift and then say, and for whatever reason, like I almost all the time, like I'm not tired when I'm at work because I enjoy what I do, unless I like didn't get a lot of sleep. But I'm never tired from like, working really hard. But sometimes for whatever reason, I'll just say like I'm tired to people just because other people are saying that they're tired instead of saying, I'm not tired really. And it doesn't necessarily make me seem weak. It makes me just seem more, I guess, human rather than, I guess a cut above. That makes me kind of sound like I'm bragging about myself, though. Which is stupid. But then 21, I had to learn Spanish. I don't expect to be fluent in Spanish by the end of the year, but I want to be able to at least have a decent conversation with someone who only speaks Spanish. And I speak, I don't know, I catch like every 1 in 150 words or so. Maybe 1 in 100 actually, but yeah, one of the things I'm gonna be doing is trying to talk to the cooks at View House more in Spanish only. Then I'm also gonna try to, well, not try, but what I'm going to do is I'm gonna get sticky notes and put it on things in the house, like what's like on an old pair of shoes, I'll put zapatos on there. Not like shoes, zapatos, but wait, no, what was it? Yeah, I would just leave a sticky note on things and say what it is in Spanish, like all over the house, so I can like fully immerse myself. And I was thinking of listening to podcasts in Spanish as well. That might help me. Maybe watching soap operas, but I think they talk too fast for like. I only pick up like 1 in every 200 words if I watch something like that. Let's see. I'm gonna finish this page. I'm gonna take a quick break real quick. Alrighty, and then I have to learn to play the guitar. I learned to play guitar when I was young, like maybe in 4th grade, and I got decent at it. I could play. The only thing could remember being able to play, like beginning to end, I think, was American Idiot. I don't even know who sings that song. I think it might be Maroon 5. I'm not sure. But I also kind of want to learn the saxophone because I used to play the saxophone and I got okay at it. I was definitely better at guitar because I practiced the guitar more, I think. But I think that I would rather play the guitar than saxophone if I had to choose one. Because there's a lot of instruments I want to play. I want to learn how to play the piano, but you know, I'd have to take piano lessons for that, where I could probably learn online for free for guitar. Then for saxophone, I'd probably have to pay for lessons as well. And in 23, I have to go hunting. And one of the big parts of it is that I heard that like elk and deer is like a very healthy meat, and you get like 500 pounds or something like out of just one of them. So it'd be a way to, I guess, save money on meat costs. I would want to just I basically be eating like mostly just elk for a long time. Just have I mean, I would probably go with my cousins because I've never been hunting before. I definitely don't want to go alone on my first time. they've been doing it for like decades. So and the next one actually kind of goes with 23, and it's to learn how to shoot a gun, which you obviously know how to do, or at least know how to shoot a crossbow to go hunting. Then yeah, I'm gonna take a quick break, real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. That's why I need a co-host or something, so that whenever I leave for an unplanned break, then they can just keep people watching entertained or something. Or I can probably just edit this out after I'm done recording it. Right, anyway, I think I'm swallowing loudly. I think I have a sinus infection. The Probably gross. You didn't probably want to know that, but if I am swallowing, that's probably why. Sorry. Alrighty, almost halfway done. So 25, I have to be a better cook. I've always liked cooking, but I've always been a little better than most people my age, I guess. But I want to be able to, I guess, diversify myself, because what I can cook now, I can cook really good, but I don't really have a whole lot of dishes up my sleeve. Like the only notable things, I guess, would be I can make really good beans and chili, really good fish and chips, and really good burgers. But that's about it. I can make a bunch of other things, but nothing really nothing to write home about, really. Then for 26, I have to invest more money, and it'll probably be in Fidelity, like a Roth IRA, just so that I can, I guess, prepare for the future, retirement, and whatnot. And then 27, I had to learn how to swim. This was going to go hand in hand with my preparing for the IBJJF because I wanted to swim as a help for like my cardio and stuff, and plus it's easier on the joints. And when I did run, I actually went for a run today. That's why I think I actually messed up my back a little more. Um, my at least my knees and my ankles didn't hurt. They used to always hurt when I ran, but that was because when I was overweight, if I ever tried to run, once I got down the block, I was already like in pretty bad pain. But it didn't hurt at all, just my back. I think I tweaked a little worse. But the only reason, like, it used to actually be a requirement, like knowing how to swim. If I wanted to, like, fully indulge myself, or at the time, it would have just been to be able to go to the #1 restaurant on my list was for to learn how to swim because it was something that I want to do. I was going to do twice a week or whenever I lifted weights. But I decided to take it off because my coach, not my coach, but wait, let me check something. All right, sorry about that. But my jiu-jitsu instructor, when he was working with me Saturday, he said it's good to swim and everything. It's easier on the joints, builds up your core and your back, which is really good, especially for jiu-jitsu since there's a lot of back injuries. It's important to have a strong back and core. And a stronger core would actually help your back. But anyway, he said that if you stay in the pool too much, like too often, too long, your body actually absorbs the chlorine. And what happens is it causes there to be holes in your arteries. And what your liver does, it pumps out cholesterol like crazy to try and fill up the holes because you don't want to die from bleeding internally. That would be not very good at all. So that's kind of definitely a lower priority. For cardio, right now I'm definitely going to stick with running, the rowing machine, and like a bike. I have a bike that I could probably ride to work, but it's very small. I had it in elementary school, and it was already pretty small then because it was more of like a trick bike to do tricks on and stuff, flips and whatnot, but I never used it for that. I just used it to get to school and home, like every once in a while. All right, so let me get this. Let me get some water. My throat's really dry for some reason. And then 29 is to have a driver's license. I have a permit now. I could probably make my way to work on my own, but if I get pulled over, since I only have a permit, I'd be kind of screwed. And then 30, I have to have my own car. The only thing that I really want with my new car is for it to basically just get from point A to point B with good gas mileage and without like breaking down or needing to be repaired like every 3 months or something. I don't really know anything about cars, so I guess hybrid. I think they're good on gas mileage. Pretty sure. Then 31. I think I might have already wrote. No, I know this was the requirement. I think actually. Never mind. So I have to finish all the books in my room. I have like 20 something books I want to read, or at least that are in my room, and I want to read all of them. Probably more than 20 actually. I have quite a few, and should be doable as long as I just read a little bit every day. Then for 32, I have to be up to date in my journal, or just journal more in general, like every other day. I used to really be not stickler, that's not the right word, but whenever I did journal, I used to write every single last detail. But a few months ago, more than a few months, probably like 6 months ago now, when I started journal again, but then stopped like a month later, I started just summarizing things instead and getting the really important parts down instead of every little last detail. And I think that's good because it's I mean, I kind of want to say it's a little bit sense of me maturing a little bit because, I mean, I don't think everybody would see it that way. I think it's just be me getting smarter in like how I spend my time instead of spending like 6 hours writing down like a month's worth of things I didn't journal about. Like if I didn't write for a whole month, right, it'll take like 6 hours for me to write everything down because I had to get every last detail. But now, it'll take like 30 minutes or something, if that. I mean, if it was like a really exciting month, maybe longer, but I'm not living the most excited life. Well, kind of, but. And then 33, I have to write a book or to start writing a book because I can't write a book in just another 9 months. That'd be, well, less than 9 months, really. Almost. Gonna be 4 months in like a week. Jeez. I've always wanted to write a book. Means my taste has definitely changed over the years. Now I'd probably want to write like a science fiction book or something like that. I have no idea what it would be about, but I think I would want to just at least try to say that, like, hey, I did that, or I'm doing this. Kind of like with this podcast. Like, I don't really expect this to be like a huge podcast or anything where, I would want it to be not necessarily like huge, but like the end goal for this would probably be following, somebody, a few people always tune in to watch it live, and then maybe some more people watch it after it's or listen to it because I think most people listen to podcasts rather than watch them. And yeah, just have I'm okay with a small following. Like I don't really want to do this for like a career or anything. I just want to do it at least once a week. 2 3 times a week would be nice, but I think I'd kind of run out of things to talk about. But yeah, I don't expect to be like a huge podcast or anything, but I would like to be. Kind of like with IBJJF. I don't expect to win, but I'm gonna do everything I can so I can win. And then kind of the same thing with this, I don't expect a big audience or anything, but I'm gonna do everything I can without pushing myself or doing it so often to where I don't enjoy doing it anymore to get a following and maybe get partnered in the future and whatnot. Then I have to meditate every day, and for me, since I would be doing the Wim Hof method in the morning, like right when I wake up, I would want to meditate probably before bed because when I do meditate before bed, I always notice that I fall asleep quicker, or at least I don't have this hard time falling asleep. I mean, I guess those are the same thing, not being able to fall asleep fast enough and thinking too much and not being able to fall asleep because of that. And then meditating just kind of like clears my mind so that I can fall asleep quicker. Then for 35, I have to be an independent adult. And by that, I mean to where, like, I know that no matter what comes my way, I can handle it. Like, if I get in a car accident or something and I have a bunch of medical bills that are expensive, if I have enough money to, like, if I had to pay for medical expenses, like, if it was my fault in a car accident or something, I guess being well, like, let's just say an emergency happened and it required a fair amount of money to be taken care of. And for me to be able to have that money and being able to, pay it off right away, whatever it would be, would I kind of be a sign of being an independent adult, like being financially stable and also being able to take care of something if it comes up that requires a lot of money. Then also, obviously, links back to when I was saying I want my driver's license and my own car, because if I need to get to work but I can't get a ride from anybody, and I don't want to be paying like for Uber every day, twice a day, or I guess a bus pass wouldn't be too bad, but I feel like if I get my own car and it doesn't necessarily have to be my car 100%. I guess I could share it with my sister or something. But just being able to like as I said earlier, being able to take anything that comes my way without having to worry about, like, without having to rely on someone else to jump in and save me. Then 36 is be 175 pounds at 10% body fat. And I think it's physiologically impossible to put on more than 1 pound of muscle a week. So I'm not sure how many weeks are left in a year. But I still have probably at least another 10 pounds of fat to lose, maybe more actually, before I'm at 10% body fat now. So let's just say 150. So I need to put 25 pounds of muscle on between now and December 31st or January 1st of 2019, actually. So I definitely be working hard on my diet every day. But I mean, it's not impossible, you know. I mean, it's always good to set goals in terms of exercise, especially if you're going to be competing in tournaments and whatnot. I think it's always gives you a little bit of extra motivation, I guess. Like if you say, I want to start eating healthy and dieting and whatnot, it'd be better if you say, okay, so I want to lose X amount of weight in X amount of time, and I'm going to do this every day, or I'm going to be doing this day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to look like this each of these days, so that you can like set yourself up for success, basically. So it's great to say I want to be at 10% body fat, 175 pounds, so mostly muscle, but without a plan. I mean, I kind of have a plan now. Meaning, about a month and a half, my coach, not coach, I don't know why I keep calling him coach, but my jujitsu teacher says that he'll probably teach me some new lifts to do. And there's actually a personal trainer that I go to jujitsu with, and he actually sent me a email of some stuff that he has people do, but it looks like really advanced. For like, it's something I won't be able to do probably for another 6 months, because right now I have like 5 different exercises, or four, I think, 4 or 5, and there's like 12 like in one day, and I'm definitely not ready for that yet, not even close. All right, then 37, I have to travel. So interesting story first, actually. I was going to, before this was before jujitsu. I've always wanted to travel, especially to Japan, and I was actually going to take like a month off of work. I was gonna buy as crazy as all this sounds, I was gonna buy a backpack, like a big camping backpack, sleeping bag, just take some toiletries, a few changes of clothes with me, and I was just gonna go to Japan for a month, or I think the other place I was thinking of going was Spain, because I kind of speak Spanish. I think it'd be a little easier if I went backpacking there. And I was just gonna go backpacking for a month, just experience the culture either in Japan or Spain. And I was gonna think, I mean, it probably would have had to gone longer than a month to where I could get a job, because first I have to get there, and then I have to apply for jobs, and there's not going to be a whole lot of places that take somebody who doesn't speak the national language there. I speak a tiny bit of Japanese, but barely any. It's like weeaboo Japanese, like nani, kawaii, stuff like that. But before doing that, I decided, instead of traveling to another place, how about I travel in something like a martial art? That's when I did jujitsu. Thank God I did that, because I don't know what I'd be doing with all my time now. I definitely wouldn't be doing podcasts. I definitely wouldn't be eating as healthy or exercising as much as I do. I definitely will still have a lot of social anxiety. I said they'll still definitely be shy. I definitely wouldn't be aspiring to do a lot of things that I want to do. Or I mean, I might, but I wouldn't be pursuing them 100%. It's kind of like what I think Louis Theroux said about how most men live lives of most men live in silent desperation, something like that. So I think I'd be living in silent desperation if it wasn't for jujitsu. I mean, I think I definitely would, actually. And real quick before I move on to the next one, I definitely would want to, out of all the places I could travel to, I definitely want to go to Japan just because I've wanted to go for so long, ever since I was a little kid. I think what first sparked my interest was actually Ninja Warrior, back when it was just Ninja War. I think it was actually called Sasuke at the time. Before it was Ninja Warrior, and then it was American Ninja Warrior. And ever since then, I think was when I first wanted to go to Japan because I wanted to actually compete in that. And I don't know if I'm as interested in competing in it as I was back then. I mean, when I was a little kid, I was pretty unhealthy actually. I was kind of fat, well, pretty fat actually. So I don't know how I was dreaming of doing that, but and I think that was it for my inspiration. And then after that, it just grew from like learning about samurai, ninjas. I think that first came from watching Deadliest Warrior as a kid, and then eventually it grew from like I think watching like anime, reading manga, wanting to go there, and just like I don't know. I think I've always wanted to experience the culture as well. I'm not sure where I first got inspired to go. It's probably watching an anime, actually wanting to experience the culture, but that's it for that one. Then 38, I have to have less compulsions. Because when I used to be a pretty bad compulsive buyer, last few months, ever since I started jujitsu, actually, I definitely become better at that and stop compulsions in general. Like when I first started working at View House, I was terrible at in terms of like compulsively eating. Like I would order food from there every day. Sometimes I have two things, which is a stupid idea because even though I have a 25% off discount, it's still pretty expensive to eat there every day, let alone eating two entrees every day. And sometimes, like if there was like untouched food, I would just like eat it. Not like all of it. I'm not completely a monster, or I wasn't completely a monster. I just like take a bite and throw it away. And I haven't done that in like 6 months at least. So, thankfully that's me like is in the past. Hopefully I never do that again. Ever. And then not just buying and eating compulsions, but also being compulsive like, hey, I think I should do this because of this. Because I was watching this, I forgot the name of the guy. He's like an Indian guru or something. And someone asked him a question, what should a 20-year-old be doing in life? Should he get a job? Should he be, praying? Should he be like in university? And the one thing I took away from it more than, well, actually two things I would say. So one, he said, what you should be thinking of is what does humanity need most right now? And then the other was he was saying how like say you got a nice office job first day, it's like a great day. You got this nice office, nice desk. One day it looks like heaven, and then another day, like somewhere down the line, it looks like hell. And the reason because of that is there's nothing wrong with, working in a cubicle. If you really like, there's people who really enjoy doing that, working in a cubicle all day, 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. And there's a small percentage of people who do that, and there's definitely a larger percentage of people who do that than they do enjoy it. And he was saying that there's nothing wrong with those jobs. It's just that you're doing them for the wrong reasons. So instead of like wanting to start a business for just money, you should start a business because you're passionate about what you're starting the business about. At least that's what I took from it. I'm sure there's different interpretations of it. Alrighty, what's next? Okay, so to be a server at View House, pretty self-explanatory. Unfortunately, it's not really in my control of being a server or not, because right now I'm a busser, as some of you may know. And I also do like pretty much everything else as well besides serve and bartend, but until we get probably two more bussers, I probably won't be able to be a server because a lot of people come in with customized schedules, like they're already going to school or something, and they just need a job to help pay student loans or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's usually not the case actually. But that's just an example. And me and well, Josh and I should say, both have pretty open schedules. I mean, Josh has a second, not full time, but almost full time job at another restaurant. Whereas the only other thing I do is, I mean, I don't do this often enough where I say it's a job, but it's definitely still just a hobby, working on it a little more than an hour a week. But I mean, hopefully I work on it like up to 3 hours a week to really to either, start doing more podcasts or to like start working on making them better. And so I have almost always open schedules besides Monday mornings and Wednesday morning. But besides that, I'm available every single day. So they definitely need to have at least 2 more, probably 3 more bussers because, I mean, while summer is coming along soon, so there's going to be people who are going to be working a lot over the summer. So hopefully, I mean, what I wanted was to be a server by March. And, it's obviously, March, was it 26th now? And I wanted to be a server by now, but this obviously didn't happen. So I'd like to be one before May. I think that's a more realistic goal because we did hire a new busser about a month ago, but he only showed up for like 3 out of his 7 shifts. And we just hired another busser like a week ago. He's still in training. I'm not sure what his schedule looks like, but he doesn't even show up on his schedule yet, I don't think. So, but he should this week, probably. I think he's only doing weekends. I'm not sure. Oh, and then one of our other bussers that used to be able to work every day only does Saturdays now. So losing that first busser and then the other busser to just Saturdays was kind of 2 steps back. We kind of took a step forward with the new busser, thankfully. Then I have to be a cook at least one day at View House because it's kind of just to challenge myself, say like, hey, I did that. I didn't completely fail or anything. Because I still kind of want to be a cook, more like a chef actually, but you have to obviously be a cook first for a long time. And while I am kind of not certain, but I'm not sure that I would enjoy it as much as I thought I would like a month ago or something. I just want to do it to like confirm me, like if I get a spark of like passion or something, be like, hey, I actually want to do this, or if it just that little spark right now like completely goes out, like I definitely don't want to do this. This is too much. Not necessarily. I'm not afraid of hard work or anything, but I just like certain work would not be, just wouldn't be for me, I think. But it's kind of like something Jordan Peterson said is you need to try and start walking a path before you decide not to go down it. Because if you, let's say you start walking down the path of, let's say cooking, like basically kind of example that I might actually do. Like let's say you start trying to become a cook, you're cooking and you have 2 different cooking jobs and you're walking down this road and you realize that you're like, hey, I shouldn't be walking down this road. I should be walking down that road. Or you have an idea like instead of doing this, I should be doing either this or this. And then you have the confidence to walk both those paths and then realize like, hey, this is where I should be, or I should actually be over there or something. So that's why I want to be a cook or work in the kitchen, like not behind the scenes, but instead of working like as a food runner or food expo, work as a cook, making the food and seeing if I enjoy it or not. Then 47, I have to be more focused. And that's basically in terms of like studying, doing homework. I mean, I haven't studied or done homework in almost 2 years now. But I've always been like terrible at it. I probably have ADHD or something, but whatever. And then to go with that, I have to have a better memory. And I've actually been taking this thing called Alpha Brain. It's from On It. I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard of it. and it's supposed to help with memory and focus actually. And I've started taking it before jujitsu, and I think I noticed a little bit of a difference in me, like getting things, like being able to do certain passes or whatnot easier. Like, it's not like making me like super good or anything, but instead of it taking me like 10 tries before, not 10, but instead of it taking me like 5 tries and having to have one of the instructors like walk me through it step by step 5 times before I can do it on my own the 6th time, it's like I can do it on my own the 4th time or something. So there's definitely a little bit of a difference. Not a huge difference or anything, but I think it definitely helps. Oh, this is kind of a weird one. Might sound weird, but for 49, I have to stop fantasizing so much. And I used to do it a lot before I worked at View House. And what I would do is I basically imagine myself in someone else's shoes. Like, what if I was, let's see, like, what if I was Logic or someone? He's a rapper. He's really successful. Or what if I was, let's say, can't think of, like, let's say if I was Leonardo DiCaprio. Like not I traded places with him, but let's say I starred in a movie, Inception or something, or in Titanic. And then, I was super famous, super rich, and all this. And I've definitely stopped doing that a lot, and I haven't, I guess, had a fantasy like that in a long time, but it's more of now imagining myself like in the future, so I guess it's kind of a good thing what I'm doing now, but every once in a while I'll be like, oh, I wish I was the lead singer of Maroon 5 or something. I wish I was Adam Levine, rich, talented, and all that. Instead of saying, hey, I want to learn how to, instead of like saying, hey, I want to learn how to play guitar or something, just like imagining like being a really good guitar player like Slash or something. And it definitely hasn't been as bad as it was a few months ago. It's still there and still annoys me. I'm aware of it. I hate it. So I'm definitely trying to get rid of that as soon as possible. Then I have to be a better speaker. I think this podcast, doing it once a week, twice, 3 times a week, or however much I do it a week will help me. Because what I've noticed, especially like when watching this podcast back, is that I'll do like a lot of pauses, not like too much, but I'll also say and like a lot. And for whatever reason, my mouth gets like dry when I talk for a long time. I mean, obviously, that happens, but it prevents me from wanting to talk, because if I do that, like saliva will build up, and then I have to swallow it, and then it sounds loud. And since I only have like my computer for a camera, it doesn't sound very good. It sounds disgusting. I don't like it. So hopefully talking more will, even if it's just to a camera and no one might not even be listening or giving criticism back, I think it'll help me get more comfortable like being on camera, being more comfortable with my voice, because I hate my voice. Some people say that my voice, like, I've been told I should be a newscaster before, but hearing my own voice, I just like hate it so much. Like, I can't believe people would actually say that. I think not everybody, but a lot of people hate the sound of their voice, because when they hear what their voice actually sounds like, it always sounds so different from what it actually does sound like. Alrighty. Then I have, this one isn't very important really, but I have for 51 to get rid of my farmer's tan. My farmer's tan it's kind of bad, so like, it's a pretty big difference. Well, a huge difference actually, but I mean, I'm not sure if you can completely get rid of a farmer's tan. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like running in like runner short, like those short shorts that they make for like cross country runners, marathon runners, and also running without a shirt off when it's sunny. And I mean, there's like a lot of schools around where I go to, so I see a lot of cross country runners, and in the summer, they're running without with their shirts off or in sports bras if they're girls. And so I mean, I guess it would be okay. Like I could learn like where they run, so I can run the same path so that nobody says anything. So I'll just be like, oh, that's probably just somebody practicing cross country. Because I definitely don't want to get spray tanned or anything, or like go in a tanning booth, because I think that'd be a big waste of money, and I don't want to look like I don't know, like caramel. That'd just be weird. Well, whatever color. I don't want to look burnt, basically. But it is annoying. I mean, I don't usually like take my shirt off much in public, unless I go to like a water park, and that's pretty rare. But it's just something that kind of annoys me a little bit. Then 52, I have not to overthink as much, and I don't do it as much as I do anymore. Definitely, ever since I started jujitsu, ever since I got my job at View House. So it's only been going down with how much I do it, but it's still there. And when I do it like really, really bad. Like it could be something as simple of sending a text to a friend, like I don't know what to say. Should I say this? Should I say that? And then it takes me 10 minutes just to say, okay, see you then. So while that is a lot more rare than it was even a month ago, it still happens and it's still annoying to me. So I'm trying to get rid of that. Then for 53, I have to be successful every day. So that's going to definitely be something that I'll have to probably wait until the end of the year before I can cross it off or not. And just kind of do like a evaluation, like was I successful every day? I might not be successful every day. I mean, I guess today would count as a success. I didn't go to jujitsu or exercise really or anything because of my back, but I still did a podcast. I still pushed myself to do a podcast because I always get nervous before doing podcasts because I don't know, I'm just not used to being on camera or being recorded, especially when it's just me. And especially when it's live as well, because I've never really made videos before. So, like whatever I say, it's out there forever, unless I take it down. But, there's already been people who've seen it. So, there might be one person out there for whatever reason who's downloaded my first podcast already. I doubt it, but whatever. And I actually got 53 from my my boss's boss. Actually, it's the owner of View House, and it was during training, and he basically just told us like try to be successful every day. And something else I said that stuck with me as well is that you have to believe in the process, and he told me this when I asked him how he stays so fit, because he's a pretty fit guy, and at the time I was really fat. And he told me you have to believe in the process. Like if you can just do one more push-up than you could the day before, you could last like one more second hanging from pull-up bar, whatever, then you're making progress. And he said you also believe in this in terms of work, relationships. If you're romantically interested in somebody, and like you can tell, like what was it, that they're just a little more you're a little more comfortable like talking to them or something, like one day after the other, then even if it's just like a tiny bit more, you're making progress. And you have to believe in the process of becoming closer with someone, building a strong relationship. And same thing with exercise and everything, as he said. So two things I took from that I thought were something to hold on to, I guess. Then 54, to have more meaning in my life. It might sound kind of weird, a 19-year-old saying I need more meaning in my life, because I haven't really done a whole lot. Like right now, all it would be is like my family, and there's nothing wrong with your family being like your meaning in your life. I mean, I also have jujitsu as well, but I want to be able to have more than just like jujitsu and my family as like meaning. Like, what is my meaning in life? It's kind of like what I want to know. I mean, I guess that would spoil the fun of searching for meaning of your life, because the only thing I can think of would be, I think a lot of people, I think Buddha said this, is the meaning of life is to find your meaning. So to find it at such a young age would I mean, it would be cool, I guess, to know that I'm meant to do this for the rest of my life or whatever it may be. And I think ayahuasca might help me figure out what I should be doing with my life or what I shouldn't be doing with my life. And 55, I have to get rid of my OCD. And it's not the worst thing in the world. It's definitely not as bad as I was since like pre-jiu-jitsu, pre-view house. But it's still like stupid little things. Like things need to be like this. I need to talk like I need to send this message like this or it's not gonna be perfect. And while I think my OCD helped me a little bit in terms of organizing like my day schedule, if I make a schedule, and kind of like keeping my room tidy rather than just like everywhere. So it helps me a little bit, but there's some things that it kind of hinders me a little bit. So I want to get rid of like I want to still be able to like being organized and knowing what I'm going to do every day, but there's some things like what I was saying earlier about like having to send a message that and it has to be perfect. It has to be said like this, has to have this many words in it, blah blah blah. While it doesn't happen as much as it does anymore, it's still annoying to me. And then 56, I have to not waste any more time. And I think I'm most of the time just waste time like watching YouTube videos, especially when I watch the same YouTube video like over and over and over again. Even if it's just like 10 seconds long, it's like, why am I doing this? I wasted like 15 minutes. And writing a schedule will definitely help with that. The only problem is like sticking to the schedule. And right now I'm like so focused on jujitsu that I can't. I struggle to spend a lot of time on like something else, like reading a book. Like I start thinking about jujitsu or something, or starting to fill out the forms for enrolling in college. I start thinking about jujitsu, and then I look up a video about jujitsu, and then the filling out the form like it times out due to inactivity, and then I don't have the motivation to start it up again. So just I mean, kind of goes back to that wanting to have more focus to where I can focus on one thing, even though I'm like dedicating myself to like jujitsu now, between now and April 21st, and probably until May if there is a tournament coming in Colorado. I'm not even sure if it would be like a gi tournament. It might be a no gi tournament. Then 57, I have to be better at everything I'm interested in, which is jujitsu. Right now, it's jujitsu, reading, and writing. And also, it kind of goes back to wanting to learn, uh, like to how to play the guitar. So, me right now, that's probably at the bottom of my interest lists. But everything else that I'm interested in that's like considered a skill would be jujitsu, reading, writing, and playing the guitar. I mean, I'm really interested in like anime video games, but I don't necessarily want to be a better video game player or like that or watch a bunch of anime. I mean, I used to. I mean, I used to be an otaku pretty much. I would just eat anime, watch anime, then eat, play video games, and then go to bed, and then wake up and do the same thing over and over and over again. And I got into a really bad cycle of just doing that over and over, and it sucked. But thankfully, I got my job at View House. And then 58, I have to always be confident in my decisions. This kind of ties in with not overthinking as much as I do. So that instead of like making a decision and then either regretting it or then after overthinking my decision. Like, why did I do that? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. This, blah, 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 and that. Then 59 is to have an idea of who I am and what I want to do. And I have that long-term goal I said at the beginning of the stream where I have a job I enjoy. I actually have a job that I enjoy now, but it doesn't really help paying the bills too much. But as a busser, you make probably an average of 10,000 a year. And while that's okay when you're 19 years old, and the schedule is really flexible, so if I was getting like 50,000 a year for being a busser or a server, then, I could definitely say, okay, I'm doing this for as long as I can because View House is really good about your schedules being flexible. Like if you need a day off, you can take it off and someone's going to cover it for you. Whereas if you have a salary job or something, you're not going to be able to just take a day off. But then, besides having a job that I enjoy, I would want a job that allows me to make enough money, and I work a certain amount of time to where if there was a jiu-jitsu tournament coming up in Japan, I could for sure take the time off to go there, and I could for sure have the money to buy a hotel, buy a plane ticket, and not only like just be there for the tournament, but also maybe stay a couple days after, so that I could, enjoy the trip actually instead of just not. Well, I mean, I'm sure I would enjoy the trip going to the tournament, but to also like enjoy a more vacation part of it rather than just a tournament part of it. And then who I want to be, I kind of have an idea of who I want to be, but I want to, I guess, be more sure of like what I want to be doing when I'm 30 or like even a year from now, and who I want to be. Like if someone describes me as like right now, the goal for when let's say 40, it would be having a job I enjoy, having a wife, 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl, a nice house, nothing like special or anything, and just to be a good dad, a good husband, have good friends, live in a nice neighborhood, and yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I want to be able to like know what I want to do in like 5 years, and then 10 years, and then 15, and then when I'm 40 or whatever. And right now, I don't really know what I want to be doing. I know what I don't want to be doing in 5 years, but I don't know what I like for sure want to be doing in 5 years, where I want my life to be at. And then 60, last one is to start a business. Now, this is a very, very, I guess, vague idea because right now, the only reason why I would want to start a business is in terms of making a lot of money. And I don't want to start a business if it's just about making money because while it is important to be financially stable or anything, I'm okay if I like never am like super rich or anything or rich at all in terms of finances. As long as I have a job that I enjoy and I'm financially stable, I'm honestly okay with that. And I have enough money to like maybe take a nice trip somewhere every once in a while. But I want to like what I'm hoping will be like the perfect situation will be is when I go to the ayahuasca retreat, I somehow find my passion and I find a way to open it in the form of a business. And the business is successful, and then I do that for the rest of my life, and then yeah, but that's most likely not going to happen. That's pretty unrealistic, and I realize that. But I have a few, well, not a few, probably just two actually, like $1 million ideas, but they're not really. They would be more things to like sell to a company that has the manpower and resources to create the $1 million ideas that I have. I could probably like pitch it on Shark Tank or something, but I don't think it'd be worth the time and money. It might be, but I'd rather start a business that I'm passionate about versus just having $1 million idea or two and just starting a business for money. That would be my goal, to not start a business just for money, but to start a business because I enjoy it, the thing that I'm making, or whatever it is. All right, I think I've been rambling long enough. It's been about an hour, 20 minutes. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Brandon Martinez podcast. I think the first time I actually did better because I had just gotten home from jiu-jitsu, so I was a lot calmer. I was tired. Probably a little more laid back in the day. I was a little more nervous because I didn't get to go jujitsu. And I have the IBJJF coming up, and I don't know how well I'm going to be prepared for it now because I might have to take a whole week off because of my back. But I think all in all, for my second podcast, second video overall, I think I did pretty good. Alrighty, well, I'll see you probably Friday, but for sure next Monday. Alrighty, thanks for watching.